Rin disappeared? The madam nods, her face grave.
I just received word from the Umedaya. Apparently, Rin left and never made it home. They said she left because I summoned her back, but I did nothing of the sort.
Wait, what does it all mean, madam?
The hell if I know! All I'm certain of is that Rin disappeared on her way back to the Yukishiro.
Rin had cried into my chest this morning. She had choked back tears and struggled to be strong, but in the end, she was unable to contain her sorrow. Is this the way my premonitions play out?
I had everyone at the Yukishiro split up. We're searching the entirety of Ueno. You help too, sir.
I'm already running off before Madame Ujaku finishes.
Hey, hold it, Shugo.
Shugo-san!
I ignore their pleas for me to stop and burst out the door of the Yukishiro. Rin, where do I start my search? There's no point in searching at random, but I don't have any clear leads from what the madam told me. If I had to guess, she must have passed by Ueno Station or through downtown on her way back from the Umedaya. Better off checking there. Among the crowd gathered in front of Ueno Station, I can see street merchants, thugs belonging to the Hand of Death, and people from bars trying to pull in customers. I find some familiar faces and ask them about Rin. Everyone I ask looks puzzled. Nobody's seen hair nor hide of her. Shit! My sense of impatience is deepening. My thoughts are just going in circles. If she just went out on an errand or decided to go out and have some fun on a whim, then there wouldn't be any problems. However, there's the possibility that this may be related to Ota's murder. I must find Rin as soon as possible. There's nothing left here for me to search. I need to look somewhere else. I guess I can check the park. I run down the footpaths in Ueno Park. They're completely devoid of any people. I'm headed toward the place where Ota's body was discovered. There's a good possibility that Rin came here once again to bring more flowers for Otaha. Damn. However, there's nobody to be found at the crime scene. I turn around and exit Ueno Park. I run through the streets just like I had earlier, but I don't gain any valuable information. I wonder if Rin didn't pass in front of the station. Gotta look wherever I can. Aoimachi. It's home to the slums, which are deeply involved in the series of murders taking place in Ueno. The first corpse was discovered here, and it's where the victims disappeared. However, the people of the city all seem vigilant. There's practically nobody out and about as evening is falling. Nuts. I'll hand over some money to informants I'm familiar with and move on to the next location. Guess downtown's next. First things first, I need to get a detailed rundown of what Rin was doing when she disappeared. The Umedaya is located along a busy thoroughfare. I pass under their entrance curtain and direct a question toward the clerk, who happens to be an acquaintance of mine.
I'm not exactly sure where she was headed off to. All I did was hand the messenger's letter over to Rin-chan.
And who exactly was this messenger?
I didn't ask his name. It was some child wearing a weird, raggedy old cloth-looking thing. Now that you mention it, it was someone I've never seen before. It wasn't some kid from your guys' place?
A child wearing tattered clothing? To my knowledge, the Yukishiro has never employed a person like that. What's going on here? I don't have time to waste standing around dwelling on this, though. I thank the clerk and exit the Umedaya. Next up is... time to go back to Aoimachi. I wonder if I've missed anything. I run everything through my head again and again while trying to suppress the fatigue that's making my body feel leaden. Perhaps Rin unknowingly held one of the leads to Ota's murder? Or is this just pure coincidence?
Hey!
Someone suddenly grabs a hold of my shoulder. Toji, Have you found anything? She frowns at me, her face a mask of displeasure.
Calm down, Shugo. There's no way you'll find her just searching around randomly. To begin with, there's no way to find this prostitute if we don't even know why she disappeared in the first place. Calm down and think things through carefully.
She's right. Toji's words may be blunt, but she's always right. I understand what she's trying to get at, but this time... I don't have time for that now. While I'm just dawdling around, Rhuze! The words die in my mouth. I'm unable to say the rest.
Shugo, did something happen between you and this girl?
Toji's eyes seem to see right through me. I avert my eyes in response. Anyhow, you help us out too, Toji. I turn around and run off. Back to Ueno Station. Nothing here. To Ueno Park, then. The gloomy, overcast sky is starting to take on a tinge of purple. Looks like the sun will be setting soon. Rhuze still hasn't been found. Legs let in from my futile search effort, I slowly circle the paths surrounding the pond. How many times have I searched this park already? The anxiety rolling inside my brain has caused my memories of these last few hours to become a blur. Rhuze. I sigh and stop in my tracks. I let the winter breeze blow against me. The cold numbs my brain. My heart is crushed. I feel like giving up. I've tried my hardest to encourage myself to keep on running, but I'm at my wit's end. If I actually start to think rationally, my legs will lose the will to keep moving. I let out a scornful sigh. Maybe it's all a product of my imagination. Maybe I'll return to the Yukishiro and Rhuze will be there to greet me with a smile, like she always does. Damn it, if only that were true. I should head back to the Yukishiro. I turn around slowly, my head hung low.
Hey, Shugo.
I raise my head up to see the figure of a girl silhouette in the twilight gloom.
Why, you seem to be depressed about something. Perhaps you require my assistance.
Nana. Nana laughs merrily after seeing my dumbfounded expression.
Well, I'm honored to see such a shocked expression from you. If this were a theatrical production, this would be the moment when the star enters, right? A famous scene replete with applause, perhaps.
Damn it, Nana.
Poor you, running all around this time looking for your friend, the whore. Stellar work there. This seems a bit crude for a man like you, who prefers to use brain power. It's an exercise in futility.
Do you know something? I ignore Nana's jest and angrily growl a question at her.
Boy, oh boy, do I know something. Of course I do. I've told you 1,000,000 times before, haven't I?
Nana declares this with yet another merry laugh.
There is nothing in this world that I do not know.
My head swimming. Despite what may have happened to Rhuze, she still doesn't stop it with that goddamn attitude of hers. If you know something, then tell me! I step up to Nana. But if you fuck around and don't give me a serious answer, you're going to pay. I lift her up by the collar of her uniform. The blood gradually drains from her face.
Shugo, I can't breathe.
I don't care. Hurry up and spit it out! The fatigue and irritation bottled up inside me has caused me to snap. I start to tighten my grip around her slender throat. I have no time for childish games. I have to hurry, but... Nana laughs with a look of rapture, her tone almost musical.
Man, this makes me so happy. I've yearned for this. It's been so long since you've played with me like this, Shugo. I got it. Let's play detective. You used to do that with me, right, Shugo?
She's got a dreamy look in her eyes. Huh? Damn it, I'm pissed off. What the hell is she talking about? I put more strength into the fingers I have wrapped around her neck.
I'll give you some hints, but they're so trivial I'm not sure you could even call this a proper riddle. I wonder if you'll be satisfied, Shugo.
Do you have the slightest idea how much of a hurry I'm in right now?
Then go ahead and beat me up or torture me to get the information. Yeah, I think I'd enjoy playing with you if you did that, Shugo.
My little sister's eyes light up with joy and anticipation. A chill runs through my body. She's serious. Nana actually wants me to do those things to her. Fine. I take my hands off Nana. Hurry up and start this detective game of yours. I have no choice but to play along with her until the bitter end.
Just calm down and listen.
Nana prefaces her little game with those words.
Now, for our first question, the bizarre serial murders occurring in Ueno right now are motivated by...
Come on, it's the work of some sicko. He just feels pleasure from cutting women up. Annoyed, I cut off Nana's sentence midway.
Shugo, I was in the middle of speaking. You're going to get penalized if you don't listen to my questions all the way through. People say that the killer is being driven by repressed desires that have suddenly been blown out of control. Now, which of the following 3 choices is the real reason?
The real reason? How can you even say something like that?
No point in asking me that. I know it because I know it. No need to worry about the truth of the matter. It's a logical hypothesis that's been tested through experimentation. I've gone through all the proper protocols. Must I repeat myself? I know anything and everything.
My monstrous little sister's lips twist themselves into a crude smile. Go on. That's the only reply I can give.
Which of the following 3 choices is the real reason? Choice number 1, starvation as a result of poverty. This seems like a rather weak reason to be the cause of these murders. Why, you ask? Well, that's because the killer didn't touch the parts of the body that would seem tasty to the untrained eye, the thigh and breast meat. Their targets encompassed only the uterus and the organs it was connected to. Perhaps it would make things clearer to call their desires sexual in nature. Anyway, that brings us to the second choice, religious fervor. This could be a remarkably perceptive take on the situation. Perhaps the large amount of indiscriminate murders is some sort of test in God's name. And choice the third, for attention. I don't know about this one. They're getting more bold, but the first victim was weighed down and thrown in the river. They clearly intended to conceal the corpse. The last murder was an exception, though.
The last murder, that's the one that resulted in Ota's bizarre-looking corpse.
I wonder if I gave you too many hints. Anyway, Shugo, what's your answer?
The answer's obvious.
Congratulations, Shugo. You chose correctly. It looks like you were actually listening to me. In this case, religious fervor was the correct choice. It's pretty common for people to get these divine revelations.
Divine revelations? Are there actually people in Japan who believe in that sort of strange rubbish?
You don't look very satisfied, but I think you'll get it eventually. With no further ado, on to question 2. The category is corpse transportation method. Even if the corpses were chopped up, there's no way they could have just walked around carrying parts in bags. No, this required a suitable amount of planning. It would also be important to have a method of transporting the victims they abducted in town to their lair, and one that seems inconspicuous. First choice, a refrigerated vehicle. It's one of those cars butcher shops like to use, where the rear cargo portion is sealed off. This seems like a plausible answer. However, the police had the same thought, and they'd been searching for those sort of vehicles ever since the murder started. Needless to say, they still haven't found anything. I wonder what that means. Onward and upwards. Choice number 2, a cart. A hand-pulled cart, like the ones tramps in Ueno use to cart around all their worldly possessions. This would be excellent for concealing the bodies, but they're not very sturdy and the stench would be noticeable. If they were stopped for inspection, they would have been arrested immediately. Our third choice is a horse-drawn carriage. This one seems somewhat unlikely. In this day and age, there aren't many people who use horse-drawn carriages. You'd have to begin by obtaining one. But if you could manage that, a horse-drawn carriage would be suitable for multiple conditions, including mobility and concealment. Well, Shugo?
I'm going to go with this.
Brilliant! I expected no less from my brother. The correct answer is a horse-drawn carriage. Fortunately, perhaps unfortunately, our killer is a person who has free access to one of them.
A horse-drawn carriage? A single image surfaces inside my brain. Didn't I just see a place where horse-drawn carriages were used on a daily basis? And standing next to it was a member of the clergy. The sky above the building was covered in a murder of crows.
The light bulb finally turned on, perhaps. Looks like you're finally getting back in stride, Shugo. Well then, we've arrived at the final question.
Nana, enough with this game. All the puzzle pieces are gradually coming together. A person who experienced a divine revelation from God and who used a horse-drawn carriage in their crimes. Above all else, Nana was easily able to point out the culprit when the police couldn't even pin one down. There can only be one conclusion.
Come on, Shugo. Don't say something like that. There's only one more question left.
I know that. Your question is, Nana's presented to me 2 puzzle pieces to the murders. The murderer's internal motivation and how they got around. There's one more puzzle piece left, and it's something Nana herself is deeply involved with. It's regarding where they were dismembered, right?
You've hit the jackpot, Shugo. In our cramped metropolis of Tokyo, there are only a limited amount of buildings that fulfill all the conditions required for carrying out those atrocious acts.
Nana, that's enough. I've had it up to here with your lecturing. I cut her off midway with a firm interjection. That place is Kaio Academy, correct? Having the final piece of the puzzle in hand make things easy to understand. Kaio Academy's carriage was used to bring her back to campus after she had stayed overnight in Ueno. Nana had realized the truth the moment she got in. She realized that it had been used for something other than transporting students to and from the academy.
My thoughts about this case aren't entirely based on inference, you know. I knew about the existence of the carriage. I realized that there was a faint smell of blood lingering inside. Thinking backwards from those points, it's actually kind of pitiful.
And that's what Nana concluded. However, there's still something missing. She hasn't told me the most important thing of all yet. Spit it out. Where on campus is it? And is Rin actually there? I lift Nana up by her collar again.
Okay. Just let the crows be your guide. Your answer lies in the place they lead you to.
Nana's answer is yet another ridiculous riddle. This detective game is over.
I suppose so. It was ever so much fun, Shugo. Oh, right. You scored quite excellently, Shugo. I must present you with a gift.
She pulls out a rusted key from her uniform pocket and presses it into my hand. What's this? Nana does not reply, but instead stares at me with those bottomless eyes of hers. She then whispers to me,
Shugo, come back alive. I value your life above everyone else's.
Her tone is almost loving. I shove Nana away from me and run off toward Kaiyo Academy. The city's settled into the twilight gloom. The icy wind blows through the trees and causes their leaves to rustle above my head. The apprehension practically burns a hole in my chest as I stand in front of Kaiyo Academy's gate, scanning for a way to get inside. Maybe there's a back door? This strict all-girls academy prohibits entry to outsiders. In addition, since it's sunset, the main gate has been firmly barred, blocking me from entering. My only basis for finding this school suspicious comes from what Nana told me. I can't just forcibly break my way in. Of course, neither can I ask the police for assistance. After rounding a few bends, I'm suddenly stopped by a towering brick wall, and in it is an entrance for the janitorial staff. Excellent. I practically leap at the door and investigate it carefully. Just as I thought, the wooden door is stoutly constructed, but there's only a simple lock on there. Please, I hope nobody comes walking by. I bend a thick wire into a hook and stick it into the keyhole. It looks like the skill I learned from Toji for fun actually has some uses. I concentrate all my nerves on the minute sensations transmitted through the wire to my fingertips. In my impatience, I slip up several times. I'm nearly suffocating, and sweat's pouring down my forehead. Despite that, I'm completely immersed in my task. This should... Click. I feel the distinct sensations of the metal fixtures shifting through my fingers. The moment I recognize the sensation, I push open the door. The wooden door swings inward smoothly. And right at that instant...
Shugo-san?
Huh? I whirl around to find Kazuna standing before me. I wonder how much she's been running around in order to find me here. Kazuna's out of breath and panting heavily.
What are you doing here?
She glances at the open surface entrance in front of me and speaks murmurs.
Is Rin-san inside there?
All the blood's drained from her face, but her expression is dead serious. She's remarkably perceptive when I don't want her to be. Frankly, I'd rather not have to deal with her right now. Leave. This has nothing to do with you.
Wait, no! I can't allow you to go alone, Shugo-san. I'm going to...
I ignore Kazuna and start to enter the campus.
Please wait!
Her slender hand latches onto my sleeve. Get away from me! The wet plop of mud flying about. Kazuna looks up at me, dumbfounded. You'll just get in my way if you do as you please. Just behave yourself and go back to the Yukishiro. You shouldn't be here.
But...
You'll just get in my way if you tag along. Do you want to put me and Rin in harm's way just for a cheap thrill? Leave. The mere sight of you annoys me. Kazuna's eyes are brimming with tears.
I never...
However, she's unable to continue. Kazuna slowly rises to her feet and leaves. This is for the best. If Nana was telling the truth, then what awaits me is death. I can't involve a good-natured girl like Kazuna in this. I enter Kaiyo Academy through the service entrance, using Nana's words as my guide. I search the overcast night sky. I spy a black lump that blends into the darkness. It's an old brick building standing quietly in a corner of the wide campus. The chapel? On top of the roof is a flock of crows resting silently and staring down at me. Taking care to muffle the sound of my steps, I enter the chapel. To my disappointment, its door isn't even locked. I don't sense anyone inside. Taking cautious step by cautious step, I slowly advance into the darkness. At a glance, nothing seems out of place inside here. A sour, old building smell assaults my nostrils. The room is full of stagnant, dusty air. Am I getting closer, or am I completely in the wrong place? I'd really like some kind of confirmation at this point. Huh? Suddenly, I catch a whiff of something putrid. As I proceed further inward, the smell grows undeniably stronger. I spot a small iron door in front of me. Is there some kind of storage room behind it? But this smell, it brings old memories flooding back. I remember smelling this sweet stench during my days spent on the battlefield, during countless crime scenes witnessed during my time as a police officer. The crows gathered at the top of this building are probably attracted to this smell. The moment I take a step toward the metal door, it slowly swings open. My heart skips a beat. I immediately search around for a hiding place and end up wedging myself between some pews. Hiding in the darkness, I struggle to conceal my breathing. Step, step, step. A figure carrying a lamp passes by me, mere paces in front of my eyes. It's the nun I met the morning of the murder, the person who had gone to the Ueno police station to pick up Nana. What the hell could she be doing in that dismal little room? Even though she's a teacher, most of the students should have already gone home. What's she doing on campus after hours? Don't tell me she's... Nana's words spring into my mind.
In this case, religious fervor was the correct choice. It's pretty common for people to get these divine revelations.
A member of the clergy, someone who received a revelation from God. A horrifying realization dawns on me. Was Nana actually right? The nun passes by me and exits the chapel, a serene smile playing about her lips all the while. The door then closes, and once again I'm alone in the darkness. Extra alert, I proceed over to the small metal door the nun had come out of. It's an iron door covered in rust. I try pushing against it, but as I expected, it doesn't budge. The door's been securely locked. I rattle it with all the strength I can muster. No effect. Damn it! Did I come all this way to get stopped by a door? Do I really have no choice but to give up? Even though Reen might be held captive behind this door? No, I can't do that. I can't give up. Not here. Not now. I pull out the wire from my pocket in an attempt to pick the lock. I use what faint candlelight is available to investigate the keyhole. It's a rather complicated mechanism. This door's in an entirely different league from the service entrance I opened earlier. Will I actually be able to pick this lock with my clumsy skills? I have no choice but to try. That's when it hits me. I get down on my knees on the dusty floor. And as I'm about to pick the lock, I have a sudden revelation. The key that Nana handed to me. It might be a shot in the dark, but I'm convinced it's for this. The final piece of the puzzle. I insert the key into the lock and turn. Click. It spins smoothly and the door opens slowly. Ahead of me lies pitch darkness. I feel my way down the steeply sloping stairway. The air is saturated with the powerful smell of rot. It's a ghastly odor rising up from the wall of darkness ahead of me. My body begins to tremble. It feels like the stairwell goes on forever, like I'm just falling down into some bottomless abyss. As though ridiculing my sense of confusion, 10 steps later I hear a crunch and feel the sensation of sand beneath my feet. Looks like I've reached the end. I strain my eyes and see a rusted metal door directly in front of me. I don't hear any sounds from inside the room, even though I'm listening as carefully as I can. I gently place my hand on the door and... The instant the door swings open, I'm assailed by the full force of the stench. It's beyond comparison to what I had smelled earlier. Gagging severely, I pinch my nose shut and enter the basement. So the smell really is... There's no doubt about it. It's blood and internal organs. The bed next to the wall is virtually dripping with blood. And on top of it are a bunch of different weapons. There's a rusted saw, a surgeon's scalpel missing its tip, a heavy butcher's cleaver. It's quite clear what went on in this place. And if that's the case... No. A feeling of utmost despair ravages my brain, and I spin my head around in panic. No, nothing's set in stone. Not yet. I'll definitely make it in time to save her. I'll find her right this moment. I suddenly raise my head. What's that? I notice yet another door behind the bed. It's quite sturdy. There's probably a storeroom of some sort behind there. I slowly advance forward through the stench so powerful I feel like I'm going to pass out. My pulse is racing. The feelings of foreboding are almost too much for me to bear. And after opening the door, I see something faintly illuminated by the glow of a lamp. Rain?